Jonathan Savich.
Yes, sir.
And Jonathan and we met at a marketing around it. Well, I do marketing for it, but at a networking event, and it's for the Main Street meetup. Shout out to Adam Renato Ranville, first and foremost, for starting that wonderful bi-monthly event. And Jonathan and I connected and started chit-chatting, and then I did some research and comes to find out this guy right here, he does virtual clothing and clothing line for avatars in the virtual reality / metaverse. I am so curious. That just caught my interest, like that. So, Jonathan, first and foremost, thank you so much for being here today.
Of course, Walter.
I know we had a little bit of a rush this morning, but we're good now. We got your coffee. We're chilling.
I had to get my coffee. I just needed it. I need to be here, present, sharp, ready to talk.
I feel you, man. No, I'm right there with you. So, Jonathan, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you started all? Let's hear it all.
Yeah. So, I started all in the summer of 2020. So, I was fresh off of graduating from Oakland University, and that was right when the pandemic was taking off. I have a degree in public relations, and I was, I had some free time. I didn't land a job yet. So I'm like, what can I do to fill my time, be productive? And at first I started with, I have the merch on right now. It started with what I call is IRL merch, because, it's kind of the bridge between digital clothing and real world. So the idea is to have both. But so it started, I started designing, I tried leaning towards innovative clothing. How can I bring technology to clothing? I mean, this is before I even really thought of leaning into digital and metaverse clothing. So I kind of found my way into that eventually. In my daytime, my day job, I work marketing for senior living. I do marketing sales there, but yeah, this is really where I'm trying to spend my time. I'm trying to grow this company. This is the place to be. I've been into crypto since 2017. So, at first crypto was just coins, it was monetary. And now we're scaling blockchains to build full-blown virtual reality. So, I just want to be where the future is going.
It is all about the future. You are absolutely correct. And this is something that people need to hear more about, because it's here. Whether you want it to be or not, it is here. And for individuals like yourself that understand it and then just immerse yourself with it, that is so crucial, because that is going to be the next phase of how we as consumers in the marketing realm, how we brand ourselves, how we market ourselves. It's not just going to be Web 2.0. No, we are now getting into Web 3 or Web 3.0. So what was the initial for you? What was kind of the initial spark that ignited the flame for you to start getting into Web 3.0 just in general, not even just with crypto or even with your brand, but just in general? What was it that the light bulb went off and you went, oh, you know what? I got to do this.
I'm here to talk about all, but I also really, crypto and the metaverse in general is something I love to talk about. So it's actually a year ago today, I discovered the social blockchain DeSo, decentralized social. And that's when I started, it's a layer 1 social blockchain, and there's NFTs on there, and kind of everything went from there. So I'm immersed in this social platform where that's all that's really talked about. It's really small. There's some odd 1,000 active users, but there's lots of development going on there. So with the NFTs there, I started thinking, I said, hey, I need to branch. I need to keep expanding my clothing brand. And part of my clothing brand is to be innovative in clothing. So it was physical clothing. And I'm like, what's the most innovative thing in clothing right now? It's definitely building the digital clothing for the metaverse. So right now I have an NFT collection that I've been slowly releasing, and then that's a standalone collection. But with the original collection I launched, so if you buy the shirt, you will get the NFT along with it, and vice versa. So that's kind of what I started, and then I'm like, well, I want to, outside NFTs right now, I mean, it's just imagery, but I'm going to have development on Decentraland and possibly Sandbox. So those are kind of the next two big blockchains for the actual metaverse, at least from my research. I mean, you have Meta, Facebook, that's not really on-chain, and I mean, who knows the future, they could, if the private industries win or the blockchain wins, that's kind of up for debate.
So you're looking at putting your eggs in more than one basket. You're not just looking at, Facebook Meta. You're not just looking at, Sandbox. You're looking at a plethora because there is so much opportunity out there. So I think having an NFT be downloaded to your wallet after you purchase one of your clothing items is fucking phenomenal. It really is, because that is where we're heading. So when you start when you were now you're getting into both of the live and the virtual clothing line, how was that transition for you initially? Was it smooth sailing, or was it more like, okay, just kind of trial and error, kind of like obviously don't give away all your secrets, but like kind of walk me through the process of what that was for you?
Yeah, I mean, I want to go back to the point where I have physical clothes, and my idea was to create the most innovative thing in clothing. It's still completely up for grabs. Clothing has never really been technological, really. Like it's really just been threads forever. So, and it's usually, so what happens is usually the native creator on whatever it is going to grow more. Like you have like the legacy clothing brands that are trying to build, Nike, Adidas, they're trying to build things on chain for their clothing brand. They're so big, I'm sure it'll work out, but that's how it goes. You look at cars like Ford, they're going to make electric vehicles, but they're always going to be second to like Tesla because they were native, they were first to it. So it's going to be some company that starts there that becomes the next big, like fashion or clothing line for digital clothing. And then, you can't live in the metaverse. Maybe 100 years from now or something crazy like that, people knows what humans will be eventually, but you're still going to be in the real world, so that's the real clothing too. So it's kind of what a lot of the tech companies have done. They start with the new industry, and then they work backwards. Like e-commerce starts online, and then they open up stores. So it's kind of like you got to do that with clothing now in the metaverse, or anything in the metaverse really. Start by grabbing the market first online, and then work backwards.
So, because this is Marketing Minds Me, and it revolves around marketing efforts for companies and local businesses and establishments. How is all clothing brands started to market to not only like millennials, but also like to the Gen Zers, because they're that next generation that's just starting to get into the workforce or will be. So how is all clothing brand gonna try and reach out to those two demographics? Because I feel like those two are gonna be the ones that are gonna take to this right away. Gen Xers and Boomers for sure are either much more hesitant or they just don't understand it. So first, how do you reach out to millennials Gen Zers? And secondly, how do you help the Gen Xers and the Boomers understand what it is you're doing?
Yeah. I mean, I have my social pages, which are purely for marketing. Obviously, it's not, you're not selling. I mean, I do have my clothes on sale linked through the site, but I mean, I have a TikTok page for all clothing brand. I have my personal TikTok page, which has a good following. I loop it back to my all clothing brand. So, I mean, a lot of it is, I mean, from a marketing perspective, you also have to market yourself. Like people, that's a thing that's really a common thing. Like I need to be part of the brand, like me as the creator and leader. So I use my personal account and loop, like I said, it's all looped in together. But specifically reaching the younger audience, I mean, as like someone who's like part of that, it's like, I think it's something that just people are already gravitating to. People in the crypto space, they're going to see that, I mean, a lot of people are in crypto. I mean, I'm going to be honest, people in crypto, there's money there. The money is flowing in. So people are going to try to see whatever avenue and opportunity they can get. I mean, sure, like there's NFTs are just sold as collectibles right now for the most part. Now we're finally seeing more utility come out of them. So with the clothing, if that's on chain and as an NFT, they're going to see, the younger generation is going to see that as more valuable. Now, I mean, this is more of like a larger problem trying to market this whole, I mean, you don't even have to market it to the older generation, Gen X and Boomers. Maybe some of them will grasp but understand why this is even becoming a thing. It's really, technically our phones are already interfacing with all of it's just a different way to interface with the web. Really. I mean, there's no difference from going and playing a video game, posting on social media. It's just how we interface with the connected web. And that's I think that's how they should view it. It's not so much a whole different thing. It's still going online. It's just a different perspective of going online.
I like that. And that is so true, because the way that even, like our parents experience the internet is so different than how we've experienced it.
Right.
I don't know. I can't speak on your age, but I remember when, I was 6-7 years old. I had my first desktop, and we were running Windows 95. Uh-huh. I'm dating myself, yes. And we had dial-up. So my web experience kind of has a little bit of a hybrid to it. I know about the struggles of that dial-up, but now I know, we can do a lot of things on these, and our laptops and our tablets. But what we're going to do right now, we're going to go live on Facebook here, and we're going to get you introduced, and you get to explain a little bit more about, who you are and what you do. So as we are gearing up here, we are now live, and I first want to say hello, everybody. Walter Hooper, WA Hooper Marketing, and today I have somebody here with me that is they are crossing over into the next realm of virtual reality. Yes, I said it, virtual reality. That's right. It's here. I want to introduce Mr. Jonathan Savich, who has created his own clothing line, All Clothing brand. And not only can you get his designs and his threads in person, you can get them virtually. Yes, he is creating a line that will cater to the metaverse, the virtual reality, avatars, all that. Jonathan, once again, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
And why don't you tell everyone a little bit more in depth about how it started, and the revelation that you made that we have to now go into both live and virtual fashion.
Yeah, as I've been saying, I started my brand in person. I started with the threads. I wanted to create innovative clothing. And then I stumbled into, I started seeing it come slowly but surely with NFTs, and then Decentraland taking off, which is people really just see that as virtual property, but they're trying to build the whole metaverse on that chain. So when I saw the opportunity to take my clothes and lean into NFTs and virtual clothing designs. Growing up with video games, people, that's a thing. Like, the in-game merchandise is huge. They trade, they sell them, but it's not on chain. There's no real money involved. But now that everything's going to be on chain, these things are going to be sold in tokens that can be converted to real dollars. You can buy real things then. So there's going to be real value created in these virtual worlds.
And you're not only catering to Facebook Meta, but you're also catering to platforms like Sandbox.
Right.
And what is for you? What is the advantage to doing that as opposed to, as we kind of talked before, putting all of your eggs in one basket?
Yeah, technically Facebook Meta, they don't have anything on chain. Nothing you sell or move there would be technically owned by the users. Like, sure, they probably have the best operating system, best graphics, and a lot of support right now, but only time will tell who's actually going to take over. I lean towards the decentral platforms taking over, because the people own it, so they're going to make way more money that way, and they're going to own their rights, they're going to own everything. So it doesn't really, Facebook has the advantage right now in terms of capital and their Facebook user base, but I think maybe what would happen to these companies, they'll have to migrate onto chain. So, developing on both would not hurt.
And when you made that decision to create both a physical and a virtual clothing line, you had mentioned that you wanted to incorporate also NFTs into that. What would that do for a consumer? How would that entice a consumer to want to, and since we're talking about virtual and meta fashion, what would entice the consumer to want to purchase that line with that NFT, and what does it benefit them?
Right. So when you buy one of these shirts, you get an NFT tied to it. So what that does is, for your physical clothes too, is it creates, right, so for collectible clothing, clothes become collectible if they're, like Jordans become collectible, Yeezys, you name it, clothes are resold. You have no idea the supply of that. Let's be sure, Nike and them, they limit the supply intentionally, but there's no way to technically track that. So when you tie it to the NFTs, they see the supply of the clothes too. So your real life clothes are more trackable too.
So I have a couple of pair of Reebok Omni pumps. I don't know. Are you familiar with those shoes?
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Okay. So it would be like if I had, with my collection of Reebok pump sneakers, those grow value over time. So much like with your virtual clothing line, when you get that piece of clothing and you also get that NFT, that just adds value because it's that one item and only that one item to that consumer. Nobody else has that specific piece of clothing and NFT. That is theirs and theirs alone. And so over time, it becomes collectible, becomes a value. Correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
I love this. I love it. So we're gonna move along to I do a little bit of a lighthearted thing, but when you are not busy running all clothing brand and you are not busy being the boss that you are, trying to create these different lines and create new fashion trends for live and virtual consumerisms, what do you enjoy doing in your spare time? Do you have any hobbies or interests that you enjoy?
I spend a lot of time on, I guess I'm like my free time, I'm really immersed in productivity and crypto, but I spend a lot of time with my girlfriend. I love golfing. I love, golf's a big thing. what else? I mean, I used to play video games a lot more, but then again, like I said, that wasn't really creating value for me. I was thinking, sorry, I don't want to keep going back into this, but
Please do.
like gaming is going to be the same thing. It's like you're going to earn money. So I don't think I'd want to get back into gaming really unless it's going to be play to earn, which is happening, and that's slowly, surely but happening. But I mean, yeah, golf. I love going outside. I love food. I'm a big food person. I love going out to eat. Any seafood is my specialty.
Ooh, okay, all right. I like that. So you mentioned golf. Where do you like to golf frequently?
Frequently, out in Clarkson, Shepherd's Hollow. That's a special course. Me and my group of friends, we have an annual competition. We have our little masters, and we compete for a green jacket, and that's coming up. So.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. I can't say I've ever been to that course. Been to like courses along this side of town on the east side. So yeah, I'll have to venture out to some west side courses.
Yeah.
And we'll have to shoot some. We'll have to shoot around.
Yeah, I mean, Shepherd Hollow is definitely one of the nicer courses, but I mean, on a regular course, I live in Rochester area. I really like Blackie. It's more of a link style course. It's kind of more easy to play since it is open, but sometimes, I mean, when the wind picks up there, plays like a true links course.
All right, like that. And seafood. What do you cook it, or you just like to indulge in it?
I'm not much of a chef. I love salmon. A big focus of mine is health and fitness. I'm always going to the gym. I guess I don't know how I left it out. Something I do every day. I'm working out.
What kind of exercises do you like doing?
I do lots of weightlifting and running. Those would be my two specialties.
How much? What's your average running time and distance so far?
I used to run more. Sometimes my knees get beaten up and I don't run as much, but I mean, I have not done competitive running. I usually go out when I go for a run. I'll run like a 5K, like 3-some miles, and I can run anywhere from an 8 to 9 minute pace there.
Okay, that's pretty decent. Yeah, I just actually asked because I just got back into running back in start of this year. So now I'm averaging like 5K in like under a half hour or so.
Yeah,
so
under 10 minutes, you're doing pretty good.
So yeah, no, it's always good to have somebody else that appreciates the.
People they don't get running. If they don't run, they don't get it. They think you're crazy. Because most people will give up. Like if they go for a run, they'll run half a mile and they're done. But what they don't know is it's not much different from us. You get pretty tired too. It's all running is mostly mentality, which they don't know.
That is so true. That is so true. And the runner's high is a real thing, is it not?
Oh, it's absolutely insane. If you push it, I mean, the first I ran 10 miles. I never done a half marathon. I just went on this run. I set out to run a few miles and I just kept going. And that feeling afterwards was insane. Like, yeah, I just kept going and going, and I said, hey, I would go for 10. It sounds like a nice round number. And after that, I mean, it was like, I don't know. That was like the first time I got like the biggest runner's high. Like there's a little one from the shorter runs, but that was something.
Yeah, I think the most I've gone so far, I've gone just a little over 6.5 miles. So I'm trying to get up to like 10. That's kind of the goal, like by next month or June. But yeah, no, God, that high, runner's high. I'm strictly talking runner's high.
Anyone
Runner's
that just
high.
hopped in 2 seconds.
For anybody
too late.
that just hopped in, runner's high. Runner's high.
Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. Jonathan, how can people reach out to you to inquire about if they want to purchase any of your clothing, if they are getting into the virtual realm and wanting to get into that and also acquire that NFT that comes with their purchase? What is the best way that they can contact you? Do you have an email, phone number, all your social media? What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, if you go to allclothingbrand.com. You can see what the site's about. I mean, you can buy the clothes there. You can click onto I have Instagram linked, and then I have DSO linked, which, like I said, DSO is that's something I really am passionate about. It's about decentralizing social media. It's kind of that's a bigger giant to attack than the metaverse and building a virtual place to go, because there is no giant holding over all of that. That's where I mint my NFTs, specifically on it's called supernovas.app, and they're on chain. So essentially what you can do on DSO for creators or developers, it's one giant layer of data, and they get to filter through what gets posted on their chain. So technically there's however many social apps on it right now. It's all connected. So if you have 100 followers on Supernovas, you have 100 followers on the Diamond app. And we're working on, I'm trying to build a node to interface with it, which would be a social app, and that's something I'm working on as well. But that's early stages right now, and I have not scaled that out. Mm-hmm. I don't have a website for that, so that's something that's more in development. We'll see where that one goes.
All right. Well, you heard it here first, folks. If you're looking to expand your clothing line and you want something that's local, you want something that is custom, you got to reach out to Jonathan. And as he mentioned, all of his social links, everything, please give him a shout and get your all clothing line piece of fashion today. Jonathan, thank you so much, man, for doing this. I appreciate you making the drive up from Rochester to, well, I call it the bubble in Grosse Pointe Park. I appreciate it, and yeah, we need to do this again soon in the future.
Yeah, thank you so much, Walter. It's a pleasure. I love being able to get out here and talk to people. It's what I love to do, and what's better is, we're growing, we're putting this out there. This helps everyone.
Absolutely. Well, thank you to the people I saw that were chiming in a little bit here, catching some views. But if you are watching after the fact, thank you. Appreciate you watching, checking it out. And again, All Clothing Brand, Jonathan Savich, right there. Do it to it. Do yourself a favor. And we will see you next time. Thank you.